What was Jesus writing in the dirt of the temple floor in the story of the woman taken in adultery in John chapter 8? Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. And this question kind of presupposes that this is a report of an actual historical event, that Jesus was actually writing something on the floor of the temple. And the data don't really support that. In addition to the fact that John is the least historical of all the Gospels, this story isn't found in our earliest manuscripts of the Gospel of John. It doesn't pop up until around the 4th century CE. And it's found in different places within the Gospel. There's even a manuscript where it's in the Gospel of Luke. It's not until the 5th century CE that it finally settles down at the end of John chapter 7 and the beginning of John chapter 8. And so Jesus writing on the floor of the temple is a literary creation. It didn't happen. And because the author does not explain what Jesus was writing, it doesn't matter. Most scholars would probably say that this little rhetorical flourish was there to reflect Jesus' lack of concern for these accusations against this woman, as well as the implications of the accusations for Jesus. And so he just kind of dusts off his hands and stands up and says, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone," successfully deflecting their attack, and waltzes away. But there could be more to it. There is another story that has to do with dirt from the temple floor, with writing, and with adultery and God's judgment. And that's the sotah, the ordeal of the bitter waters from Numbers 5, where if a man suspects his wife is committing adultery but doesn't have any evidence, he brings her to the temple to the priest with an offering. He writes out a curse, and she pronounces this curse. And then they take some dirt from the temple floor and mix it in with some water and scrape the ink of this written curse into the water, and then she drinks it. And this is supposed to allow God to indicate their judgment in the absence of evidence. She is either blessed or she is cursed with disfigurement. And so if that is in view in this story that was created later and then placed into the Gospel of John, the idea may be to show Jesus as the one who possesses this authority to judge. Now, in this case, they have evidence. It explicitly says they caught her in the very act. So it's not a matter of bringing something they can't figure out to God. It's a matter of them taking the woman to Jesus and saying she has to be executed. And Jesus, who now possesses this authority, says, "I don't condemn you. Go and sin no more." So that could be something that's in the background of the way the story is being told. But if you look in most commentaries, if they address it at all, they will probably say it's intended to show Jesus is not really worried about their accusations.